Welcome, everybody. Welcome to BeoTalk 249. As per always, we'll start off with the shilling. And go to Skinny Play. And I have a promo code. You can buy any cover or covers, and you can get 10% off. Use the promo code in the chat. I'll put it in the description down below too. They have a bunch of stuff. It helps them. It helps the channel out. And that's always a good thing. Also, Prestige Creators also has a promo running with promo code Wikipedia, but in normal letters and with an A instead of a 4. All right. Well, it's 10% off. And it lasts until the 31st of March, which is a very generous offer. So if you're in the market for some, or if you want some Beo remote, whatchamacallit. Yeah, and they're all wall mountable now, which is bloody sweet. I love mine. So they come with a plate in the back, and the magnets are silly strong. Like I can go on a nearly 35-degree angle and it still sticks. So even if you have a sloped roof, you probably will be fine, but no guarantees. I'll show that later as well. They have a question because they also made a new lamp to go with your Beolab 8000s and or 18, which is really nice. And go give them a... Yeah, it's on the Discord, which is next for shilling. Come join our Discord. And you'll be the first to know about all such things. And as per usual, if you do not feel like watching our faces, we're also on Substack. And then you can take us on the go wherever, and you can download it, and you're not limited to like your data plan and that sort of thing. And you don't have to see us if you don't feel like it. Because we mostly yap on about things anyway, and I upload pictures and that sort of thing. So last week's was good, and with Steve and Mr. Roast. And that was good fun. And we're back again with sore backs this week. How have you been? Oh, bloody hell.
Do it again? Sweet.
Yeah, for some reason. I'm back again. Are you? Make some noise.
Am I?
Yes.
Am I?
Yes.
All right.
Now let's
Can we
see.
start the show again?
They also changed it on the bloody Twitch side. Bloody hell, why does shit default? I'm so annoyed. I had it all planned out. It was good. But we're here again.
So, anyways, what was I doing?
You were trying to fix
in
the 90's?
beginning of the week. In the beginning of the week, from Monday to Tuesday and Wednesday. No, yeah, Wednesday we were in a client's house that had moved from a house to a condo, well, a penthouse rather. So we were installing BeoVision Avant with lap 3s front and back in a lap 2, all wires in, right? It's already pre-wired, so that was good. So just terminating a whole bunch of cables. Two 3500s, Beosystems 3 with BB12, and a projector, and a karaoke input, and I don't know what else. Like, this list goes down and down and down. So actually, I'm revisiting that next week on Tuesday to go in and figure out the format 0 thing with the Beosystem 3. And then Thursday we drove out to Tremblant and tried to fix the Lab 90's with 2 suitcases we brought in. So full car basically, or full van. Bruh, I got completely different respect for those speakers when it comes to like how well engineered those are. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But obviously we got to look at it pretty good because we've replaced almost every board twice.
Mm-hmm.
And hi, Mom. And
Evening, Miss Satanik.
and what happened was the fault essentially is, I think, that open circuit whatever was in the actual uh, parts not for sale part, because
Okay.
that, if you take out all the wiring harness, you have to take out all the drivers, and if you don't put the drivers in exactly the same way that they were in each of the spots, then the speaker will not sound the way it's supposed to sound. So it's something that they have to do it in Denmark. So it was it was a loss. But on the benefit of it all, the gentleman that flown in from New York to fix them with me, I was assisting him basically. Uh, realized, I guess, my skill or whatever you want to call it, my suckerism for BNO. And I got basically promoted for a certified master technician for North America, more or less.
Sweet.
So that's that was the end of the week on Friday. So I had a good cigar on that. And yeah, that was it. Then on Friday, actually, we pumped in a new software into my theater because I had an ongoing issue with it losing CEC and the whole comms over the network. And it's fixed. It did repeat itself once, but so far, if I turn on the YouTube from the My Buttons, it fires up.
Or you
And
could
then
just go, "Hi, LG."
no, I have this turned on. Actually, it pisses me off. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But anyway, so there's that, and we went to the freaking thanks to that doctor, and we went to my storage locker to pick up a whole bunch of stuff, and picked up a bunch of Bio remotes and Essence remotes. So I put remotes all over the place now. But the funny thing is that one of the remotes and one of the that I did, which was my original remote, and the STB brackets, the polarity on the magnets are reversed and they're freaking glued in there. So I can only use the remote on one bracket because it'll spit it out from the other ones and vice versa. So that kind of sucks. But
so that's basically a table remote where it now levitates.
well, that'd be funny if it did, but it doesn't. So yeah, that was basically the wrap up of the whole week. It was pretty exciting, and going out, taking him around the Montreal and show him the good spots that I've been able to find. As interesting and good food and so on and so forth. So yeah, I think he's left pretty impressed. Which I
You
made
go
sure
to
that he
your
would.
chicken place.
No, we didn't make it to the chicken place. I didn't want to.
That's sort of a mark of a great weekend for
the
you.
time came out. The time came. Like I took him to good places. The chicken place, we didn't get drunk enough to go there for the chicken place because that was a little bit. It's a little too heavy to send him with the chicken cheese sandwich to a freaking airplane to fly to New York. I think that's not fair. So that was the summary of the week basically.
Sounds like a good week. So basically now anybody in chat can ask you anything and you're meant to know it all.
I'm meant to know it all now, yeah. So yeah, and if anybody in chat wants, there's a BeoSound 4 that I dug out from the storage that I want to get rid of as well. Fully working. I disabled the pin on it too.
Sweet.
Because I understand, but it's just like in a client's house, they should just disable that.
Especially nowadays. Back in the day, it sort of made sense, but now
it doesn't. Like you can lock this up with an IP basically, right from the portal.
Yeah.
Or from their BNO side, I think. But you know what? One thing that I'm gonna actually write a request for change comment on it, which I think makes kind of sense, is you've had a level with you, right, for a while.
Yeah.
When you played with it, right? You know when you play it, push it up, push it. When you put it down and it changes the tuning.
Yes.
That it kind of goes mutes down and it goes back and mutes up.
Yeah.
They should do that with the theater when you change the listening positions, because it just mutes and unmutes. You know what I mean? It should do that in and out.
Wait, isn't there a fade-in option in the app?
I think that's just for the Isn't that just for the will it be under product settings?
No, let me
Here,
see.
I'll share this. I'll share a screen because I have the app working finally. It's so cool. Just start sharing. Okay, ready. I'm gonna screw up your freaking everything.
Yeah, I'm used to it. Where is it? Oh, I've lost it now.
Should I share again or no?
No, it's okay. It's I'll change this.
Max is asking if there's any guests planned for the 250th.
I'll reach out to John, see if he can.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, Beano Preston, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to that.
There we go. Found it.
Because where was it? I think it's not under sound settings. Under sound settings. Oh, maybe that's line in sensitivity only, but then it says fade in.
See, I have fade in on, so I don't know what. But that only fades it in, I think, through like off the standby and into standby. It doesn't do it in between the speaker positions or listening positions, I guess. Which B&O, make up your mind. Is it speaker position or is listening positions? Because in the fucking remote it says speaker. Yeah, this is on Windows, Max. This is a program called BlueStacks, and you can run Android apps on it. Basically, that's one of the streamers that I watch play my favorite video game. That's how I found out and taught myself how to use it. But don't feel bad, we're both boomers, so fudge. So yeah, so that's the thing. Also, let's just go here for a second. So I am on right now about software 2.5.3.
I think for most people that software update got pulled before it was fully rolled out because there was some odd behavior with the level, I think, and there was something going on with theaters, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, nothing. It actually, from what I can see, it fixed a lot more problems than created any in my experience with it so far. What was the cool thing that it did? And one thing I don't understand, why does the Essence remote trigger the YouTube or a TV command? Like there's no, it should be CD or radio command instead. And I cannot change it anywhere. And like, even if you go to Beo remote, I am fucking stupid. I'm living in a studio and I got 3 remotes, bro. 4. 4 remotes, but that's only to this one. Because the Emerge also has its own it has its own Essence remote because I put it in the shower, it works perfectly now.
Dear God.
Yeah.
So well, you can never have too many remotes, I guess.
This one has 4. I don't know which one. One of them is a ghost remote. I don't know which one it is. I'm not even gonna start unpairing it right now. But yeah.
It's normal.
My theater is normal oak. It's very deceiving from the camera, but it's much brighter in real life than it looks. It's normal oak. It's not a light oak. And I think the ETA on my walnut grill is mid-March, give or take. So, but that's okay. Let's get out of this. I was actually considering getting bespoke walnut panels for the Emerge. just for the shits and gigglies. But yeah, other than that, I haven't really played with anything in here. It all works very well. One thing that I don't understand, if it's Deezer Flow, it all automatically stops playing FLAC files, even though it plays music that you listen to, like you have it on your playlist. It doesn't play it in FLAC.
I have no idea when I look at it in my living room. God, the thing is gorgeous, but I don't use it enough, honestly. Oh no, oh no. It defaulted.
How did you mute?
I didn't. It's OBS. OBS muted you again here.
You bastard.
Oh no. No, you're back again.
Right on. So.
What the H, OBS?
So yeah, I can stop sharing now. Dink. Confirm. Stop sharing. And let's disappear. Anyways. So, what were you about to say with that picture?
Oh, I was just showing off the natural oak, mostly.
Oh yeah, yeah. Natural oak is quite light. I know it looks, because the camera is washed out because of the light of the windows, but it is it almost looks like it's walnut matching the 18s behind me, but it's not.
No,
it's much lighter.
It's, I would say it's almost a bit lighter than the 18s are, but just a hair.
Mm-hmm. It really depends on what, not even wood species, but what part of the freaking log that they processed at the time for it, because there's always a change.
I mean, it's closer to my 50s, which bodes well for me, because, I mean, it's in between the 50s. So, Frederick asks, anyone ever seen bronze 28 with natural oak? I've seen bronze 28s, but I'm not a fan. I don't remember if they had natural oak on them, but
I had brass stone and BeoSound 1. Remember back in the day, I couldn't stomach it. I had to change it to the piano black. And apparently now that brass stone is very sought after for those things. So.
Yeah, it's a bespoke color now. You can still get it, but it's bespoke. I don't even think they do it as standard anymore on 28s.
Do I care?
I personally don't.
No, neither do I. I'm not. That's never gonna be my color. Never was. Never will be. I like the silver.
I don't dislike the color like massively, but it is one of these colors that will date your setup sooner than aluminium or black will.
Mm-hmm. Look also what I brought up from the storage.
Oh, nice.
There's 9000, BeoCenter 9000 and BeoCenter 9500. And interesting is that the aluminium on the 9500 is much yellower looking than the current aluminium. Maybe it's just a reflection the way it sits, but it looks definitely a different color.
Yeah. Well, Frederick, if you're in the market for that and you want that color, go buy it quick, because here it's no longer available for, what is it, 1750 more. Here it's like probably 30% more now, because it's a bespoke option. And also, what is it, March 1st, price rise again. I think it's 2 or 3% on 28s. Here in Euroland, the 90s will go to 110,000 euro.
Fudge. How much is that? How much are they now?
103.
Oh, so 7 grand. Oh, it's nothing.
That's what they keep telling us, right?
Oh boy.
So, But yeah, it's already off the website here. So I don't
90s
know.
is the only speaker that no matter what I'll never sell. I'll sell everything around it if I have to. I'll just have a core in the 90s. Fuck it.
Or a
There's no way
V1.
No, I'm thinking of actually selling the V1. I love it. It's cute, but I think that I can make somebody else more happy than it would make me happy. Because if I get to, or when I get to Florida, I don't think I'll care to have a TV in a TV room, or two TVs in a TV room, or less, like I had in the old apartment. Because I had one that I was looking at from when I was away from the speakers, and one that I was looking at the speakers in the toilet.
First world problems, quite
The
literally.
first world problem was like, what the heck? And that one also was on a swivel bracket because I didn't want to have it flat when I was eating breakfast. It was need to face me, so
God. Well, hopefully you can live a bit larger in Florida.
hopefully, I'm gonna have to look into renting a house because with the 90s, I'm gonna get crucified by the neighbors for sure, and the theater. Because this thing is quite honestly, like the 18s are a good filler for them. Like the bass on this is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's quite impressive. It's
Also, I have to say, since with my software so far, the 2.5.3, there's still no test tones that I had seen playing with the app.
not even under the advanced setting. Because you have to go into the speaker, or what is it, listening position,
Yeah.
and then you can go to advanced, and it might be there.
Fudge, where's the advanced settings?
It's all nice and hidden. If you're used to B&O TVs, it's a bit strange still. I mean, there's definitely pros to having it in an app, but like the layout is a bit.
Oh, advanced listening was created manually. Okay. Okay, bro, hold on a second.
We're going.
We gotta share the screen for this, dude. We gotta share the screen for this. We're sharing knowledge now, not around here. So, people, pay attention.
Yeah, go on.
So where was I with this? Here. No. Where was I create manually. There we go. So you go to create new, but on the three dots, and there's create manually. So let's the 2 to 3 or 4. That's it. I didn't know that it does. It did. Okay, let's just make this a surround.
What happens if you play sound?
It does play noise.
But is it the boom or is it
No. That sounds like air conditioning. No, it's actually white noise. That's cool. So we do have white noise. Sweet boys. So that's excellent. You can make your own freaking speaker position.
Yeah, you're not fully dependent anymore on having to use the microphone.
Wait, one speaker.
I mean, with my luck, the one thing that'll go missing in the move will be the microphone or something. So this will be a godsend.
Yeah, I can't get out of it now.
You probably have to click done at some point and then just delete it.
It doesn't let me. Bastard. Well.
Okay, that's one way to force it then.
We're gonna have to restart it. Yeah, close the app and start over. But yeah, that's cool. I'm surprised that it does that. So that I could I could allocate the in a quadraphonic scenario that I have a couple of clients like Stefan himself.
Mm-hmm.
He could create a manual position and then assign the theater subwoofers finally,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That should make a sense.
That should be able to work. Yeah.
Shit, I'm gonna do that.
You have to
Okay.
go for another drink.
Create manually. Here, I'll share the screen again. Let's just stop sharing, but I didn't. So let's go there. Yeah, I'm quite. This is exciting, dude. This is good shit. So we're there, and then I can do. Okay, so that one's gonna be my right front.
Mm-hmm.
Stop the noise. And that one's gonna be my left front. What do you mean roll none? Okay, left front, right front, and then center front firing.
That's the one in the middle in the back is the sub.
This guy subwoofer left.
I think it's sub that one center.
Okay, let's do them both the subwoofer center. And right front firing. Roll subwoofer center.
Yeah, you'll have
That's
to let us
interesting.
know next week how that sounds if you play around with it.
Continue. Oh. Test. Let test. We're not gonna get copyright stricken for this music, right?
I don't think so. No. I wonder if the mic will.
Oh, stupid! I clicked done, dumbass. Well, feels bad, y'all. Won't be seeing this.
I was so like, oh, we're gonna hear it. And no.
Son of a bastard. Okay, screw that, man. We're doing this again. I'm not giving up. Just like that. This is bullshit. Create new from manually, quickly. We're doing it quickly now. We're doing like professionals. So let's this one front right.
This is what you get when you hire a master technician.
I don't save it. I don't need to save it. Let's go back and let's do left front firing for a subwoofer center. Boom. Let's go. Let's go app. Don't slow down. Subwoofer center. Boom. Back. And that should be all. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Test. Experience the theater.
And just we can barely hear it on this end, but that's okay.
The theater doesn't play. Plus, the theater doesn't play the bass.
As in at all?
No, nothing comes out of
I
it.
mean, add the center one then. Maybe see if that changes anything. The center speaker. Just go to test, yes, and then to the little ball.
Little ball.
Yeah, you can, because there you can add speakers, can't you?
Das ball. No. Oh, there's speakers right here. Center firing. Okay. But I don't think that's gonna give me the freaking test tone anymore now. Test occur.
No. No, it won't. You have to do it again.
Feels bad. That's some bullshit. Delete. Next. Let's start over. That is so weird. Why would it not do that? Create manually. Let's do it.
Test 2. 3,
Test
technically.
Technically, test 3. First one doesn't count. First one doesn't. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back to this guy. Make him left. Bastard. See, it's weird. It shows him left, but you have to go center. You have to switch its role to get it going. Interesting. Let's go subwoofer. But is it a center subwoofer or is it like the rear? You know what I mean? Because there's nothing out
There's
front.
no other options for subwoofer specifically.
Right? Subwoofer center.
So I can only...
No, I'm going to do subwoofer left. Is it on the left front? So let's do subwoofer left.
Okay.
Let's do subwoofer right on this guy. Just for laughs. And then let's do subwoofer center. Boom. Shakalaka. That's it.
And
I'm happy with that.
And
I'm happy with that. That's
3.5.
There we go. So experience the theater.
Now it works.
It works now.
Sweet.
That's sick, bro.
Yeah, because Raslaw on the Discord was also playing around with this theater, and he uses his Beolab 9's as a subwoofer now.
Yeah, that's cool. So we can delete that because I don't need it.
You can probably still play a bit more with the bass management and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Did it just delete all my positions?
No, I found that the app sometimes does this.
Well, that's scary, bro.
Yeah, I've had a few times where I've been like, what happened? Everything's gone. And it's like, no, actually it comes back after a minute or two.
Okay, let's just go out of it. Oh no.
Get out of BlueStacks and see if it's still on your phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, stop in sharing. Confirm. Cancel. Close. Look at my phone.
Because that's the most heart-sinking feeling I've had in a while. Sometimes when you go into the app and it's like everything is gone and it says create a listening position. It's like, oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, they're all here. Even the test. Me test.
But I've come to accept it now that there's sometimes like a sort of, I guess, a loading quirk or something.
Yeah, that's weird. It's all back. It's never left, I guess, from this one. But yeah, that's interesting.
Because I even had it where it said like, put your theater in BeoVision mode or whatever, and it's like, wait, what? I'm watching TV right now. Like, how is this possible?
Yeah. So hopefully this helped a bunch of people to mess about with some theater. But yeah, that's a cool idea, man. I like that you can actually do this with what's it called? But now there's a manual setup.
Yeah.
Because then technically that would mean you can do like third-party in-ceiling speakers. Not that I'm a fan of it, but you could basically, right? Because you just need the levels. Obviously, it's not going to be tuned.
No,
so then
it's
it
not
raises
going to
the
be
question,
room compensated now.
No, but then it raises the question, I guess. Well, it's not a question. It's more or less an answer in itself. then the theater plays in its factory settings.
One would assume so, yes.
Because you can run the calibration. Like, let's say you have a whole bunch of in-ceiling speakers that are not celestials or anything that B&O has packed, right? You would have to have, like, how do you know, right, what that speaker can do and perform, like, or blah, blah, blah.
You do as much as you can manually and guess.
Mm.
I mean, this is, in a way, it's a good sales pitch for stick with B&O. Because at least we know what every speaker does at any given point.
Well, this is nothing but it feels good for somebody that's had an old, let's say, like, in my mom's place where I don't, that BeoVision 9 dies at some point. Like, you can buy something now that is really, in my opinion, more or less impervious to time, because the WISA mount has been around since, WISA, because it's just a universal standard.
Yeah,
so as long as the screens fit.
It's the first flat TVs, really.
Exactly. So as long as that is the standard, then this is basically the speakers always outperform the televisions by a long shot. It's like I've had clients that had lap 5s from the day they got him, that they got out, which is basically 20 years today, and
less, yeah.
And they had it BV4, then it went to a BeoVision 12, and then they just either waited and did something like a BeoSystem, kept the BeoSystem 4 and just changed the panel on it. But the limitation of the BeoSystem 4 is that it doesn't bloody do 4K, right?
Yeah, and you have to do the workaround loop around thing.
Yeah, so it's not the most fun. It's stripping HDMI signals and blah blah blah. And there was really no solution, no answer from B&O other than like buying a full-on TV, right?
Yeah.
That over time, like, okay, well, how long is the Avant gonna last now, right? And then they cooked off.
How quickly does it fry itself?
But I've seen the one that I did this what's it called, when we did last week, like most of them here, but a lot of people smoke in the house in here. Like, everyone's French, right? Everybody just fucking smoking is good for you here, obviously. And have a smoke, fume, right? And the freaking Avants are just caked from the inside. The glass, isn't, like, it's not. I don't think it's sealed correctly. There's no real airflow in the 55 because there is no fans, but it's just the ambient, as it
has to go
heats
somewhere.
up. Well, yes, it circulates the air, no doubt about that. But it's a lot of them have that hewing issue that I've seen. There's two of them.
Surely it can't be hermetically sealed with heat, because then you get expansion and contraction and stuff.
No, it's got to be vented, right? So it does pull through. But yeah, it's interesting, I must say.
By the way, this was the lamp, obviously, Prestige Creators made.
No shit, that's cool.
I like that a lot.
Zoom in on it, bro. Actually, I'll make a bigger screen. I have the technology to do that.
Let me get it up on their Instagram.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yep. So, yeah, I like this a lot. I mean, to me, this... Remember there was an old... Was it Luco design, sort of Beolab 8000 lamp back in the day that you could put your CDs in?
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
This sort of feels more like the updated version, but Beolab 18 kind of, to me.
Does he have a picture of it turned off or no?
Probably somewhere.
I just wonder what it looks like. Yeah, shit's cool, man. I like it.
Yeah, it doesn't come with CDs this time.
Not to be the guy that has to ask, but I'm gonna ask. Can you change colors in that, or is it just one light? Besides, that's freaking cool.
Wait, what did I just do?
Ask something. I'm gonna ask something.
Wait, my entire chat disappeared on my side. What the hell happened?
There we go. Question sent. These are solid oak. Nice.
I'll start a poll because I can't see any chat on my end anymore. What happened?
You broke your shit.
Yeah. Hold on. I didn't.
But yeah, I do like it a lot.
I meant to start a poll, not a Q&A.
How many lamellas is it all around? I would guess 24. I'm gonna get a Rayman on you. And I would also like it in walnut, if possible.
Which is obviously possible. I mean,
Yeah.
it has the same color options as all the other wood they make.
That's sick. Oh yeah, it says any color. These are solid oak.
I mean, it's obviously dimmable and sort of.
I like it.
I mean,
dude.
I'm quite thinking of getting one, but I need to have it in the 110 volt because pretty soon it'll be useless for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Here,
I
have a question. Is WISA the same as wireless power link? If yes, can you connect a non-BNO WISA speaker to the theater?
I never tried, so I wouldn't be able to say yes or no, but I would presume you can. It's just gonna be not recognized as a BNO speaker, and I don't think that you would be able to run the microphone calibration. You'd have to do what we just did earlier with manual setup for speakers. So manual distance and manual dB levels, and that's basically it. But I don't see why not. Like, I've had people that had connected with a USB WISA dongle from LG to the Beolab 28s, and it worked no problem, quote unquote.
Yeah, so WISA is a standard like Wi-Fi, and anything rated as such should work together. But the operative word there is should. And it depends a bit like on how closely people follow the specs. Which is it depends on the company, right? Like B&O is like sort of the WISA company at this point, so they follow the specs quite well. Plus they've been doing it since like 2012.
2012. Well, they're the ones that helped them establish the specs properly before launching their products, because they wanted to make sure that it's 100% solid. And it's been 10 years now, 11 almost, since it launched. Actually, it's gonna be 11 years in March. I think that's when I went to San Francisco for the training, because it was the transmitter one with 17s and 18s and 19 that came out at the same time.
Yeah, and for me anyway, would be it still all works fine.
Mm.
I mean, I also have all of them at the moment.
What?
I have 17, 18, 19. It's all here.
It's all here. Do you use the 19 with the theater still? And 50s and shit? It turns on.
Basically, yes.
No, there is no difference between that. Wireless power link is basically a WISA protocol ran standard speaker. That's it. That's wireless power link. And DPL is essentially just a network connection. But
nothing
in between the 50s and 90s, it might be a little bit of a different communication standard, maybe. but I don't really see why, because there are 3 ports on a secondary speaker, so it obviously can act as a switch. So therefore, my assumption is that they just communicate network.
Yeah,
So digital power link is just network.
it's just data in the end.
Exactly.
So,
No problem.
it's a bit weird how they flip in and out of that naming scheme.
Mm.
Because sometimes they call it WISA, sometimes they call it wireless power link. And sometimes they sort of use it interchangeably, and I don't fully understand why.
Sometimes it's immaculate sound or whatever. They
Yeah.
had that. They had that for a while. But we'll see. We'll see what's new.
Majority of people like the lamp. That's good. Prestige get on making one 110 volt. It'll be very hard to test if it works properly on your end, but I need one for the North American market.
Have a huge transformer beside it.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm very much not looking forward to. I'm thinking of selling my BeoCenter 2 because I kind of don't want to mess with the transformers and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I want one again, I'll just rebuy it over there if I can find one.
You'll be able to find those here, not a problem.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
So it's, I mean, also, like, you guys don't really have DAB radio, do you?
No, that doesn't exist here.
I mean,
AM, FM, bro.
Mine has been updated to DAB Plus, which seems to be unique, I'm told, by my dealer, but it's like, okay.
I will never use it, so I won't know the uniqueness of it.
Yeah. But I mean, since I'm high up, I get DAB Plus radio from BBC London.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's.
So
I didn't expect
good quality.
That. Yeah, it's because it's digital, right? So there's either connection basically, or there's none.
Okay, so it's CD quality then, basically.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And you get all the metadata and that sort of stuff with it. And, I don't exactly know why we necessarily had to switch, because normally when you listen to sort of even DAB Plus radio, like, internet radio is still better. Like, and in a case of emergency, now you need powered receivers and powered transmitters, more so than what you can do with a normal radio, where you can sort of crank it and just send out signals, right? Because now it's all digital, and you need to run it through a computer, and it's like,
pull a BeoSound 3 out of a freaking storage locker.
Yeah.
We still have FM.
Put an antenna in a BeoSound 2300, and it works in the US. I mean,
or a BeoSound 4.
If somebody needs one, yeah, email Willie.
Yeah, email me. It's in very good condition. Everything works. I just actually tested it yesterday. So, kind of sort of want to play it in, or plug it into the theater just for the shits and giggles through the USB-C. But I don't think it'll ever happen. Oh, look at you. Yeah. That's right. You had an interesting week too.
You know what's interesting?
Yeah.
B&O's build quality.
On?
The passive kit. Because this corner is currently held up by a B&O passive kit.
Holy fuck. Okay, I get it.
So the build quality of the passive kit is amazing.
It can hold up a corner of a 90's box.
Yeah, it didn't dent, it didn't scratch, it didn't do anything. It just like took it like a champ, because in transport one of the corners came off.
Passive kit.
So a passive kit was the
passive
exact
kit power.
It was the exact right height, and it took it like a champ.
Never would have thought the passive kit would fit.
So my dealer said that it was quite interesting. because obviously the delivery guy comes with a massive van, right? And it's a special delivery thing because it's no longer one of these pump
I would have
carts.
put fucking books, bro, not a passive kit. I wouldn't have the heart to find out, you know. Just
It's built
saying.
like a tank, a passive kit.
No shit. Is it missing the entire side or just that
Well,
one corner?
the back half, yes.
Oh,
So
shiitake
the
mushrooms.
front
So yeah.
bit of that was still on, but basically in front of the sort of leg corner bit back was all gone.
Mm-hmm.
So my dealer said he looked into the back of the van and one of the 90s was like leaning into the other one.
Oh no.
And the delivery guy was like, what is this anyway? It's ridiculously heavy, and I have to get one of these mechanized things now to like bring it to you because of like
Yeah.
employment rules and regulations. I can't lift X, Y, Z. And my dealer's like, oh yeah, that thing that's like leaning over, that's just €100,000 speaker. He's like, what?
Fuck.
And then also where my dealer is, it's on a slight incline, like the whole road. So it's like, oh, and it's apparently 175 kilos, including box per speaker.
Yeah, dude, it's a fucking huge bomb on a dolly if you let lose control of it.
Yeah, and at the bottom of the road, there's water. So if you can't control it, you probably
These
take out
wouldn't
like
float.
5 people.
These wouldn't float for sure.
So,
So you got them in.
yeah, and wrong way. And then we obviously or my dealer ordered obviously everything, but somehow the speakers came before all the tools and stuff you need to get them off the pallets.
Sweet.
So yeah, we improvised. And dear fucking god, are these things heavy?
No shit, Sherlock. They're 137 kilos each, or 135. I don't know. I forget exact, but I'm just about to know again because we're going back to Tremblant and swapping those 90s that we couldn't fix. So I'm gonna be lifting these things 4 times,
Yeah,
and it's up the stairs and down the stairs.
well, we kind of like took these bits off here at the bottom corner, put the bolts back in, and then use ratchet straps around them. It's like lift them off and move them. But a ratchet strap is like here anyway. It's like an inch wide, so it's like
Fudge.
like nice pressure. Like my
Oh,
back
you
to
didn't
deck.
even have the harness? Jesus Christ, you guys.
They were late. Like, what are you meant to do? Just like leave this in the store in the middle of the store with the boxes on.
Yeah, I put black cloth on it coming soon.
So yeah, the day after my back was like, ooh, ooh.
Yeah,
I did something
definitely
yesterday.
you can definitely feel moving 90s. I tell you that for sure. That's not a fun speaker. So obviously no pictures of you guys working on it because you were working on it.
Yeah, and I must say the boxes are fantastic because they're fully reusable in this.
I'm glad that they still come in a wood box or a wood crate, and not that they didn't switch to some. There was a time where they actually switched to cardboard, I believe.
I remembered wrong. They the front was also gone.
Yeah, the whole side must have been if it was leaning. Yeah.
Yeah. But these are the, what did they call it? Sand and gold? So these are the gold tones. And I must say, in person, they're a lot nicer than even the 28s in gold and sand or whatever the sort of off-white is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's some, where are the 28s in gold and the off-white color are somewhere in the shop too, but I really don't like that color. But on these 90s, I kind of liked it. It was a lot more subtle. It wasn't ultra Dubai edition, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
Like the gold is much less in your face on 90s like this.
What's the middles between the crowns, the aluminium pieces?
Gold.
Are they okay?
and not plastic or whatever it is. It's metal.
Oh yeah, you didn't take off because you can't lift them yet. That's funny.
Yeah, so for moving, right, we also didn't have the handles that you put in the top. Like, that all hadn't arrived yet, and that's probably not arriving until like 2 weeks from now.
Why didn't he order that first?
I don't think it went around like that.
Oh.
Like, I think...
Well, you got him on the goddamn floor.
Yeah, so we managed all right, but I mean,
I'm sure nobody was smiling, though.
No, and this is one of those few times where you carry something and you go, like, you put the strap on and you go, hold on, actually, if we ever hear anything go, or if you go, we're putting it down, we're stopping. We need, like, agreements for this. Like, this isn't like we're going to wing it. This is too heavy. If you put this on your toes, if it tips over, like...
Oh, problem. Major problem.
Like, if you just hold it like that and it comes towards you, you're not going to stop it. So we made some proper arrangements. Like, if there's any reason to say no, if you feel anything slip, if you feel anything bend or creak or crack, put it down. Like, wherever we are, put it down. It's like, so it worked out all right. But I mean, also, if, I don't know, let's say you bend anything of this aluminium, like, that's so expensive to fix. Like, nothing about these speakers is cheap and or easy.
No, nothing is. But they're very simple looking, but they are goddamn complex, bro.
Yeah. They are lovely speakers, though. Like, like, as you can see, we did the volume properly.
The moderate volume.
It's obviously like, well, we're done test tones. Up.
Let's go.
God, these are wonderful things.
It still looks good with the. I think it still looks better with the harmony than the theater. Harmony just has more elegance to the TV than the theater does. In my eyes.
This is an 83-inch harmony for people wondering.
I know.
So
83 is a good size. It actually looks. We have one in the shop. It looks sweet.
It's almost imperceivable if you walk up to it, the difference between 83 and 77 until you turn it on.
Yeah, it's a big screen. It's nice.
Oh, I love mine. It's great. But it's a dominant speaker even in this color, because there used to be 50s here and now it's 90s front, harmony center, and 50s rear.
No, that's terrible. That must sound so bad.
But I wasn't there to play with the 50s. I was there to play with this as is, and it's like it's like another drooling experience. By the way, if this is in Utrecht, so if you're in the Netherlands, links and directions and stuff are down below and addressed. So if you want to go check it out at my dealer.
Maybe that's what I'll do, because I have to invest about 60 grand of US money into my the business visa and shit. So I just might buy the 50s for the rear.
Yeah, go for it. Why not?
I already have the theater and the 90s, so I definitely need to rent a house.
Yeah,
and they get reinforced glass and shit, so that's good. I don't have to worry about pushing the windows out.
Yeah, and if it's built after 95, the outside is for sure concrete.
Oh, that's good news.
Yeah. Like, after the massive hurricane in 93 or 4, they decided we're upping the building code so that everything stays in place, even in the category 5. So that one way to do it is all the outer walls are concrete now.
Interesting. I didn't know what year it started, but I know, because the place that I stayed was freaking solid rock.
Yeah. But for us audio enthusiasts, that's it's a great perk.
Indeed it is.
But yeah, these are dominant. They're heavy as fuck. You don't like when people still right like
It's a big deal moving these speakers, bro. It's a big deal.
yeah, and I always sort of. I mean, I've been around 90s quite often, right? But this was my first proper install of doing them.
Mm.
Because, I mean, I'm not going to go to a job site because I'm not employed there. I was just
Yes.
literally there to help. As in,
Mhm.
like, this is not a one-person job. This is impossible to do
It's
by
just 2
yourself.
to 3 people, man, basically.
Yeah, and I mean, my dealer is a very nice guy, so I was like, well, I have some time. I would love to, just for my own experience, to do these.
Hmm.
And just like we managed well, I think. But it's like I always knew that 90s were heavy, and like with the Alicia Keys thing, like maybe the photographer moved. It's like no, 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 no. If those plastic thingies are underneath, gone from underneath the feet, there's no way you're moving this without
Unless you
damaging
put
something.
felt pads on it, but otherwise you're ripping off those rubber feet that are coming off. Like there's no way to move these speakers. Like you can't just slide them.
But you're even more likely to tip them over if you push them. If there's nothing under, right? Like
Yes.
because
You'll fuck up the feet. That's out of the gate. You'll fuck up the feet. You gotta have the skates if you want to move these speakers, even for cleaning and stuff. You can get underneath it, but I would suggest to take off the panels. But then you're risking breaking the pegs over time because the rubber grommets over time they harden
yeah.
in the 90s.
Well, also it's not the thickest plastic that's holding the pegs on.
No, but they use that goofy black glue that they use for everything, which is a great glue. Obviously, it's holding BeoVision 7's glass to a freaking metal pegs and BeoSound 4s and all the rest that was attached with that thing. But for some reason, it just doesn't like to be on the wood. Wood and plastic is not the thing. And you know what? For that money, I think that those pegs should have been either molded out of aluminum or machined.
Yes. Also, my dealer also had a refurbished B&O Beogram 4004 or 2. So they come with braided cables now, and this one kept the data link, which is actually kind of nice.
Nice.
So I mean that and spot the cable. This is such a Steve cable, and so I saw his work pop up.
Nice.
So good job, Steve.
Yeah, these look good.
And I mean they clean everything and they make it all nice again because this thing was used, and it looks more or less new again.
Nice.
I mean they somehow have a way to clean this aluminium better than you or I could.
I wonder how they do it. Well, I guess that's the trick, isn't it?
It's got to be some solvent based something. Like that's rough enough to get all the deep seated oil out of the grain, but not so harsh that you like oxidize the metal.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, like Guy Curtis says, rock the speaker and place the moving blanket underneath and drag. Yeah, we've done that because we couldn't fit the skates through the door in one of the houses that the client moved into. We had to drag it across the whole fucking house. Luckily, it was hardwood floor and marble, so it was easy. Because if you had to do this on a carpet, the day of the laughter would die right there. So
Chucky says hydrosonic bath. Yeah, if they do that, that makes sense.
mhm. What's this?
Just a theater, but also I took some more speakers because you rarely, some more pictures because you rarely see the top 3 in one picture altogether.
That's true.
So
Yeah, the 90s, 50s, and 28s.
I mean, you can kind of see how little the 50s are by comparison. Like a lot of people say 50s are big speakers, but compared to
Mhm.
90s, they're really not.
No.
Also, 250s are less than the full weight of 190.
Hmm.
I mean,
That's funny, but yeah, that's so true.
250s are 122 kilos.
Fucking the thing is just
It's
that's
it's still
hilarious.
15 kilos less than 190. But
Yeah, I cannot wait for mine to be dragged out of that goofy storage locker. Hopefully they turn on no problem after all these travels. And yeah, just rock. I
I wouldn't
cannot.
expect it any other way, really.
Neither would I.
One thing I didn't know before, but it sort of makes sense, is that that light ring up top is sort of loose, or at least it can rotate.
Dude, it has its own suspension.
Yeah.
It has its own suspension because I've took it out because there was another problem that we had. The light ring, like the top summit, wouldn't communicate with the bottom of the speaker, so there was no. Usually, if there's an error, the ring would blink flash or flash quickly, or when it's turning on and loading, then it's chasing its tail.
Mm-hmm.
None of that was happening. So yeah, we've changed a few of those, and it just wouldn't work. But yeah, it's got a suspension for one and only reason, so you don't fuck it up while you're sliding the top crown on, because then there's that give that you need in order for that cover to recede properly.
Yeah, I hadn't realized that because whenever I saw 90s and whenever the top was, I was in somebody else's shop, not at my dealer's, and it's like, I'm not just going to touch and do a bunch of stuff that you're uncomfortable with. And like the thing came up, it's like, wait, did I just see that move? And it's like, oh, it moves. Yes.
Yeah, it's a three spring suspension on the bottom cap on the lens itself, which is pretty insane. And also the springs are like that foam that they have for the cable. They're covered, so there's no fucking way it'll ever ring or vibrate or some loose and shit. Doesn't happen. So
it is a crazy speaker. If you can afford them, I would definitely say buy them. I mean, if that being if you don't intend on moving anytime soon, because they're such a pain to move. And if you can afford somebody to move them for you, then it's moot. But
regardless, keep the boxes.
Yeah.
Keep the boxes. They will actually preserve the value of the speaker, especially when you have matching serials to the boxes. That somehow still matters. And,
I mean, I kind of presume if you can afford them, you can afford the minimal storage space of the boxes.
Be it in your house or somewhere else, yeah.
Yeah. Guy asks, Willie, have you heard of any Beolab 90 maintenance issues?
I don't understand what is a maintenance issue.
Like a blown driver, chassis board.
Not necessarily. These ones, I don't know. I think that these guys got messed up in the transport because they were working properly in the shop, and they sat in the storage in our warehouse for 2 years through the whole freaking pandemic. And then it finally gotten to the point of install, and yeah, the secondary speaker, former slave, never fired up. So
does a sticker still say that?
On those, yeah, it was because it
does on mine as well. I have like one of these clear stickers, like was it made in
Czech Republic?
Czech Republic, and it says slave speaker. Have you heard of any Beolab 90 component failure?
No, not that I've heard personally. I've seen some pictures over the last few days but that's from a guy that travels all over the entire North America, including Mexico.
I still have a feeling that a lot of that is potentially like a QC issue, or it's not inherent. It's not like Beolab 5s where you're pretty sure the chassis will go after a while. It's like a fault that rears its head that was either always there or transit or something like that did it.
But I would also suspect that you're more likely to incur damage to those speakers or speaker boards if you live somewhere, let's say tropical, and you always have your doors open, and if bugs and shit get in, because only the driver cabinets are sealed. Everything behind those two big cooling radiators or heat sinks, when you open the speaker, all the boards are exposed there, and then there are holes in the top of each sides or the crown tips, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and there's holes on the bottom to encourage passive ventilation. So if something gets in there and it fucking shorts it out, like you've seen, I don't know if anybody follows Eric E-Technical on Instagram. He had copper lizards fried BeoVision Avant video board because they got in, and so yeah, that is it's unprecedented, but it's likely to happen. Chances, I don't know. More or less, you're gonna get struck by lightning than having your speaker fried by a fucking daddy long legs or whatever. But no, I haven't heard. As far as our shop is, we have 5 pairs in the field, and there's only one. But obviously, like I said, it worked perfectly before it was transported, and then all of a sudden, mysteriously, just doesn't come on at all. And
Yeah, it
the
could also
roads
be
here
that the
are terrible.
yeah, it makes
Oh,
Formula One look
fuck.
with their bouncing look like fun.
Even when you get out of Montreal, like if I drove, obviously I went to Halifax and back. Like, yeah, once you get to New Brunswick, that's when the road starts improving. But I think this is just it's an epidemic of Quebec to have shitty roads, and they just don't do anything about it other than drive over them.
Well, they're French. They need to be reminded of the cobblestones back home.
For God's sakes, man. Yeah, it's bad here. But
Bonjour.
anyways.
Comment ça va?
But anyways, that's I haven't heard anything that really like failed on the 90s so far here, and I don't know how the clients that have them enjoy them. If they, I know one guy that he has them. He also has a room where he likes to mix, so there's just a different set of speakers there. But he freaking cannonballs his Lab 90s. So far, no problems. And I also think that if you misuse the speaker, I don't care how much smart is inside that speaker. If you start them from fucking cold and you go straight to 85, 90 volume, you're asking for that speaker to get damaged. It's the same thing like you just put a freaking brick on a cold start Porsche or a whatever 911 and just and just rev it the fuck up. It won't even let you rev it. So I'm sure that these would do the same thing. That they were like, okay, sorry, buddy, you're not going full tilt. My car is smart enough to do that when it comes to audio system as well. If the the temperature is below -10, I don't have any bass in the car. It cuts off all the bass drivers till it warms up, and then it starts to play. Yeah, it sounds funny. Like you only have the mid ranges going and tweeters all the way around. No
Good
bass.
evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah, it sounds so hollow. It's hilarious. But then when it starts to heat up, because then slowly the amplifier starts to introduce the bass into the car. It's funny, but at least that you have the peace of mind that that you're not going to damage your system by cranking it up because or you want to listen to the news and guys has a more behavior or bassy voice or whatever.
For some reason, people with speakers just feel like it should, and then they perfectly understand it with the car argument, but it's an appliance, so it's like,
yeah. I am planning to make this my podcast microphone somehow. I'm gonna order another one, and I'm gonna make it mine. But first, I'm gonna play with the connector pinouts and see if I can make it work.
You can order the little conversion bit, right?
Well, this one's excuse me. This one's a regular microphone plug, but it doesn't when I plug it in, it just mutes the shit and doesn't work. It doesn't get read out from this computer doesn't pick it up. So I might have to reverse the pins because I think that's what they did here. So you can't use it as a microphone.
Call Steve for a special pin out where you can just plug it in.
Oh, bro, I got it.
Oh god, this is going to be so 70s with the slim mics again. Like, hello.
Like that Bob from Price is Right.
Yeah. You put the little fluffy thing on top as well. Like, hello.
A little pop filter. Yeah, I should do that. So how long did you guys tune them for? How many positions did you tune?
It was just 3: omni, wide, and narrow.
But if you did the Omni, did you take like more than one set of measurements, or you guys took more, or like for the filters to build filters?
Yeah. We went for omni. We went like the corner, then sort of in the middle, and then the far end of the shop, which was like 6 meters away. And wide was more or less the sort of couch, just a bit wider than the couch. And narrow was literally one piece on the couch, like the is it there and there?
Yeah.
And they sound incredible. It's funny to me living with 50s that you sort of, they do sound like B&O speakers sound like B&O speakers, but there is a difference in how they sound.
Of course.
There is an airiness to the 50s, and I think it's because of the lens and the sort of more dispersion of sound that the 90s don't necessarily have. In the sort of in the sort of simplest way, it's the difference between the tweeter of a 17 versus an 18. They're almost identical, but because of how B&O decides to use them, they sound very different.
Yes.
And in terms of like 17, 18, it's the exact same amplifier and everything. So, but the sound is so different. As a sort of, I don't know, for me, I love 90s, but there's no end to the power. But there's almost no place you can live where you can use all of it. Like responsibly. Anyway. Like if
you fucking go deaf before you actually, in a regular room, you would damage your hearing for sure.
Yeah, and you can tell it's so effortlessly. Like even at the 70 volume I showed earlier, right? Like I was right up close, and you barely see the drivers move. But it's so loud that when my dealer said something, he was like, "What?"
Yeah, 70 is pushing it. That's like good movie watching volume for me.
Yeah, and Main obviously played some test tracks and some nice bassy ones, and I think we went up to like 80, 85-ish at one point. And
nice.
We figured out what was sort of loose in the walls here, there, and everywhere. Apparently, the door to the storage room isn't hung perfectly straight because that started vibrating in the hinges.
Fuck.
And then you hear stuff in storage starting to rattle. And
yeah, we had when we had the 90s here in the shop, because it was before my time here, Kareem was saying that they had one demo where like he fucking juiced them up so loud that one of the fixtures went down. So it's like, holy cow, like these are loud speakers. Very accurate and dangerously.
Yeah, and it's not loud. Even the thing is, it's not even that they can go that loud, it's that
they do.
Nothing really changes, right? Like
no,
even
at
40 dB versus, well, probably close to 95 dB, like they just sound the same. Like there's nothing that takes over. There's not an increase in treble or the bass runs away. It's just the same sound but louder.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the 50s do this to a very large extent too. But this is just it's different. It's more and it's lower as well. which is, it's kind of weird because when you stand in front of the 50s, you sort of feel the ground shake and tremor a bit. That is not really a thing with 90s, and it's probably because they're so incredibly heavy.
Yeah.
But when you, I don't know, play some organ music and you hear all the 10 hertzes in it, it's like, God, this is a bit much. Like, in a nice way, and it's, yeah, I think the way we reviewed them many years back, whereas like the 50s is like your sort of front row of a concert, but 90s is you're literally on the stage with the people.
Mm-hmm.
I think that still stands, and that is sort of the main difference. Having listened to them, I'm still thinking like, I really want these at some point in my life. But I'm still questioning, like, if you're a music lover, these make a lot of sense. But I mostly watch films. And is it then really worth it on me?
Yes.
Mm.
That's worth it, bro. Don't even question it. You'll never have a regret in your life.
Yeah, except when you move.
It's not a regret. That's just a headache.
I'll have to reconsider once we live somewhere permanently. Because
So,
I
once
don't.
it's stateside, who cares? Fucking moving here is not a big deal.
Yeah, but
You're
not
already
just
across
that.
the water.
Even if you, because it's even when, like, just moving in general with these things is a bloody pain in the ass. And maybe it's me being particular, but I wouldn't trust just anybody to move these.
So I'll help you. Fuck.
Yeah, I understand, but like, even on a good day, right? Like that's 4 hours ish away, and I would obviously try and work it around that. But it's like if I, let's say, move from Tampa to Orlando or something, that's not done in a day, and these things will have to stay somewhere, and it's like, it's you have basically like a Porsche in the back of your van.
I wouldn't do it. Like I would move with the pods, just load it all in the container and fucking unload it in the next place somewhere else. And obviously, it'd be either the first or the last thing. Probably the last thing that comes out because I would strap it to the end of the trailer. Just like mine are first thing they got in and the last ones to be out. Which kind of sucks because there's now all the shit is in the house before the speakers come in.
Yeah, well, partially of why I want to be certain that wherever we end up, we're going to stay for was because I want to wire up the whole house, obviously, and it's like I'm not going to wire up a place where it's like, like after 6 months you go, yeah.
Yeah, but if you can flip the house, and if you upgrade that network infrastructure, at least you will have some gain of value.
Yeah.
Not many people understand that really, but some do.
So yeah, maybe I'll call my dealer eventually, like 6 to 9 months from now. They still have these.
Let's see if you can get them.
You send them
Yeah,
over.
because you won't get them this cheap in America. There's no way.
Well, also no sales tax, right?
Yeah.
When he sells them outside of the EU, there's no sales tax on them here. I mean, in our case, that's 21%.
That you won't have to pay.
Yeah, and well, you pay import tax, but that's 11 over the paid total.
Hmm.
So it's like I still gain at least 10%.
Would you change the crowns over time to silver?
Maybe. I actually, I'll go back before I leave again, but I actually kind of like this color combo. It's much nicer in real life than the website even shows.
Mm-hmm.
It's
typical to B&O. That the pictures never do the justice to seeing the product in real life.
it's by far not as bright and white as yours are, which I also like. And I must say, I am a sucker for the shiny normal aluminium. But this color combo works really, really rather well.
I like it too, to be honest. I'm not a fan of the gold, but it does look good.
The gold in this is like a minor accent color, and it's not gaudy, it's not ostentatious.
It's not overpowering. On the
No.
50s would be too much gold, but on the 90s there's not enough to be distracted.
No. I mean, also if by then I maybe start up a business of some sort, I can buy them on the business and not have to pay the import tax.
There you go.
But I mean, yeah, I actually think these are kind of they're subtle compared to like the 28s in gold.
Well, there's a lot of fabric on them, so they look, it softens that speaker up quite a bit.
Yeah, can I get thinking of the gold color? Because actually, these are all three in gold. And the 90s are by far, I'll start a poll.
But yeah, these are in taupe. Well, I guess you can't really do the taupe because that's quadrat, and I think that totally would just screw up the fabrics or the acoustics of the speaker, in my opinion.
So all these three are the gold variety. And there's a poll up. So, I mean, and it's kind of weird to me, right? Like, I don't particularly like the 28s like this. I don't know, it's not the right color. The 50s look, to me, on the verge of awful. The 90s look nice. And it's the same color scheme, supposedly.
Yeah, well, at least the sales, there's no way that's the same color scheme because they're different color, obviously.
Yeah.
But
these are the gold editions of all these speakers. So it's like, it doesn't really match with each other in terms of like, if you think, oh, I'm going to buy a cinema room, I'm going to have gold 90s up front and gold 50s in the rear. It's like, they don't look the same. They don't really match.
Yeah, the chat's not happy with the gold. I'm on your side, chat. I don't like it. I like the 90s, but the 50s and the 28s in that tone is. I
mean, the poll is on the 90s, right? Because was surprising to me seeing it. Like the 90s like I hate gold, and basically the theater in gold is also kind of like, ugh.
No. I've seen it. Looks cool, but like I said, those people had the whole house around the gold accents and the gold furniture accents and shit. So yeah. I understand there, but I would not own that.
So I was really surprised because when I walked up to them, I told my dealer, why did you order the gold ones? Because I sort of like, in the first 30 seconds, I was like, I dislike gold, and those are the gold ones. And he said, well, I can do the black ones, but it's black and it's standard, and it's like they look enormous. I could do the anthracite ones, which is just a different shade of black with a dark aluminium, and it's just sort of like, okay. Or I can do this, because that's the standard colors now, right? For 90s. And this looks a lot better, he said. And having moved them, looked at them, placed them, and playing with light a bit, it's like, actually, I think this was the right choice. And
yeah, the black 90s are, to me, they're very boring, but they also look much wider in real life.
Yeah.
They look much wider, much more massive, much more room consuming.
Yeah, I agree. I just came away from this day because we installed them in about 2 and a bit hours. So it was fairly quick, including like the sensing, and we had some beers and admired them and played music.
Well, the worst part about those is just to get them off the crate pallet
Yeah.
and position. The rest is very easy. Did they? How long did they take to update?
I want to say about 10-15 minutes or so.
That's not bad.
No. I think these are made relatively recently, so there is a lot newer software on it than like the original software.
Mm-hmm.
Because they haven't been making these in this color for all that long.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the color doesn't mean shit. It's just a couple crowns that they get screwed on, but the production of the speaker itself is what really matters, right?
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure, but I think these were made somewhere end of 2022.
Nice.
So, I mean, they're fairly recent.
Well, the problem with fresh batch, because they don't even have them in stock in Denmark right now. Like, I still think they should keep at least a few on hand. At least, like, the naked chassis, right? And then whoever bespoke whatever nonsense you order, then just dress it up in that.
Yeah, but, I mean, I don't know, it's just... having been this, it was a good day. It was fun to do. It was really fucking heavy, and I came around to a product in gold that I actually liked, because I don't even like the level in gold.
No, it just, to me, it looks like a some sort of a panini maker in gold.
Make it really hot and press it.
But that's just my opinion.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the 28s in gold, yeah, no. The 50s in gold, oh, no. Like, they're almost worse than the 28s. And the 90s is like,
Well, because that gold really disappears into the lamellas on their panels, rather, on the bottom, right? And it's just enough twist and color change in it that it doesn't look, as continuous like a vase as the 50s are.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, the 50s in aluminium, I love. The 28s in normal aluminium with walnut, oak, even the fabric, I really like.
Mm-hmm.
The 90s in black, I like, but you need a big-ass room for that to work. The 90s like you have in white, I love.
Mm-hmm.
And then apparently I now like 90s in gold.
Sunday people should be forced to pay more for gold. I agree.
I still don't really understand why it's one of the 3 standard colors now, because especially for 90s, it makes it like the standard 90 is black and aluminium. Then the other color is anthracite with anthracite, which is basically a sort of lighter shade of black with darker aluminium.
Yeah, so just double down on darkener.
Yeah. So it becomes even more sort of like we're taking over the room. And then you have these, and it's like,
Davidson's titanium finish would be best if it was standard. I don't think that you could really tell much on the speaker if it was titanium finished, because, I guess you have the what is it? The color bead blast polished, or bead blasted surface, like silky. It would be like a Remote one silk, and just a little bit more of a grayer color than the silver is. No shine to it, so I guess. But then, what do you put for fabric? Do you do white? Do you do gray? Do you do black or anthracite? I'd more or less be interested in having these, speaking of the theaters and stuff, I'd be more interested in having the Lab 90 panels made of aluminum polished. Like the bottom feet, you know what I mean? Either polished or have that extruded look to them. Brushed.
I mean, I guess if we're looking at I actually always liked the Forged Iron Gray for a cell color as well.
Forged Iron Gray is nice.
I wouldn't have it probably with gold on forged iron gray, but I mean that's negotiable. Like Max, these used to be normal price, and now they're bespoke, and now they're 121,000 euro basically, give or take, for Parisian Night Blue, which is a nice color, but damn, I'm not paying it 15, 16 grand extra for it. Wait, and the
Yeah.
white? Ooh, the white are back again for a normal color. Or a normal price. Weird. Because for
That's the time to hop on them, bro.
But that's so strange, because for the longest time, white was the most expensive color option.
They probably made too many girls, and now they gotta dump them.
I mean, I remember when I looked at 90s, they were at the time, what was it, 72.5 grand. For the black ones, for the forged iron gray ones was 23. 73 grand or something. And then the white ones were like 83.
Oh, shit.
So it was like close to 10 grand more to get the white ones. And now it's apparently the same price as all the rest.
How much is the Parisian again? 125?
127.50.
My God.
But all this will go up March 1st.
Fuck. So they're gonna be like, what, 125?
Something like that, yeah, for the Parisian Night Blue ones.
Wow.
If you want any of the other colors, it's probably even more.
So
maybe you're the cause of this, that so many people lusted over the white ones that they thought, oh, pump them out. And then it's like, oh, damn it. They're now so expensive that we can't charge extra for this shit.
If you want to give me a deal on those covers, I'll take a set, because mine are starting to get yellow from the glue. Even though I never really had them in the sun or whatnot. So at some point I might replace them. So that's the ones he got, the sand?
Yeah. So it's...
They're nice.
It's just... Again, like you saw in the pictures just now, that versus the actual color, it's not exactly the same color. Like, it sort of looks darker on the website than it actually is in real life.
It also depends what lighting you have and what color, warm temperature is your light, and so on and so forth.
Well, obviously this is in a shop, so there's a lot of light.
Yes.
There's more light here than you would probably have in a normal home, even in per like sort of section of the shop. But
it looks cool. I like it.
So yeah.
I like it a lot. The forged iron gray is interesting looking color though too.
Yeah, it's a very nice color in real life. It also doesn't really look like this. If you have a dealer with 90s, like my dealer, I think should get the little box. But most dealers with 90s, he hasn't yet, so like don't go in the next week for this. But most dealers with 90s have this box from B&O with all the color options for the oak, the aluminium, and the sail color. So you can like walk outside with it and see like they're little squares with sail material.
Yeah, the forged iron gray would look good with walnut covers on the bottom, dark to the gray. I think so.
I mean, yeah, again,
they should do like Nordic ice one with like a fade.
Yeah, and the pink hue in it.
So that's the sand ones?
Apparently, but if
that looks so much different, bro.
If this is a picture, it sure makes comes out as a render. Like, this doesn't look real compared to the real thing. Like, like it's flat. There's nothing looks concaved on the sails other than this side, but the other side doesn't.
Well, the shape is kind of weird, but it does actually make sense how that speaker is. But what doesn't make sense to me is how the light bends off of those divots
No,
or concaves. It doesn't make sense.
I mean,
Plus, the TV looks like it's just placed in Photoshop.
yeah, I mean, no LG screen is this matte.
No.
Like, I wish it was. It would be nice.
Yeah, no, you could see the speaker reflection clearly in it, not just like that.
I mean, Anders lives not that far away from you. Just go hire him to take some pictures of your stuff. Like, I don't want these renders. It's not accurate. Your stuff is actually pretty, do you know? Like, there's no need to render it.
Yeah, but that's the tough call, right? For them, it's easier to do that than stage a product photo shoot like we used to in the 90s and 2000s and 80s and since 1925, I guess.
I mean, I get it to a point, but surely you can do that in one of the factories or at headquarters, or I mean, you can do so much with, like, you can build a fake room around them where you don't even have to take the speakers all that far. Like, you just need some 2x4s, some drywall, and I don't know, some wallpaper or something, and you have a whole different room.
Some 2x4s.
I'll pull that.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited about the new software update with the theater. So far, so good. Actually, just for the shits and giggles, let's just turn on the YouTube. See that it doesn't drop the comms with the panel. But I don't know for what reason the LG screen loses internet connection. Even with see, it goes to YouTube's, but if I press menu, it just the network is still fudged, and I do not understand why. Is it true? Because apparently, when you put the theater on the network, like if the theater is connected Wi-Fi, then it should give wired connection into the panel. I haven't seen that because we always wired the thing, so I never had it. Just this is more or less like my house is the unique scenario of how this of the wireless system.
Wait, sorry. So if you wire, or if you wireless,
you wire between the screen and the panel and the theater, right, for the control.
Yeah.
There's a cat cable. So, from my understanding that I had with the discussion with the guys, is that if you have the theater sitting on the Wi-Fi, there's a built-in switch in it. It should automatically pull the wire or push wire connection into the panel.
I think it says wireless in the LG one should do it that way.
But mine don't do that. Mine just goes to, it's either wired or wireless. And the funny thing is, like, if I unplug the network cable, I lose control over the TV. But if I plug it back in, obviously I gain the control back. But if you go to network, this never shows and tells that it's that wired connection Ethernet is connected. You see.
Mm-hmm.
So does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I have the same thing. It never says what. I mean, I am wired for internet now, but even with the Harmony, when the Harmony Sound Center was wired, it would say wireless Wi-Fi on the LG panel. And I don't know why that is.
Yeah, because I don't know where else to go in order to stop this fucking thing from dropping off internet, or maybe it's the Maybe it's the ubiquity setup Wi-Fi that they have here that is dropping me off.
Could be that maybe it refreshes too often or something.
I don't know, but it's annoying. It is annoying.
So what are we at? B&O hire Anders. So far we're 55% yes and 45% absolutely.
That's right. There's not a single no, which is great. Even the trolls agree.
Yeah.
So, yeah, his pictures are stunning, man, and they're real. That's the best part about it.
Yeah, there's no reason to fake it when you make it.
No, the old BeoCenter 626 in the old picture there was funny. That was a good TV, man. Good computer display. That's what they had in Struer in the house. When I went to like visit the family home,
Mm-hmm.
they had each computer had that as a monitor in their house.
Most dealers here had that as a computer monitor for the longest time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, in my dealer's old shop, he had a 626 as a computer monitor.
Nice.
I mean, yeah, that was before he went to the new shop, as in where he is now with the 90's. He had that for the longest time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, probably for at least 4 years.
Yeah, dude. That's the old what is it? The CX100s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember listening to those back in the yesteryears. Good set of speakers.
They're still pretty decent to this day. I mean, they're not ultimate powerhouses, but if you just want to listen to music, there's nothing wrong with them.
No, but those paired with Konas were awesome back in the day. I've heard a setup like that in one of my clients' place. He had a pair of 150s with the Kona. Just banging Olufsen, nice.
Yeah, so you know him. Just ask him to come back.
Take some photos.
Yeah. I mean, why not? It's better than these bloody renders.
Yeah, I don't like the renderings, but that's just I guess that's the tune of the present now, right? Everybody does renderings. Like even none of the vehicles you see in a car catalogs. Well, there's not really any catalogs anymore because it's all online, right? It's all renderings. It's not like what it used to be back,
Weirdly, though, in the
yesteryears.
car renderings, you see a lot more detail than in the B&O renderings. Like any of the car, even the enthusiast people that I don't know. There was an announcement for a new Nissan GTR, and the fanboys went crazy, and the designs you saw that you could like 3D rotate and stuff, like they were so detailed. And then this is just a dude doing it in like Photoshop or whatever at home. And then you look at B&O's renders and it's all soft and you don't really see much of any detail. The color is sort of just flat and it's like,
But I think they like, is it the point that they trying to make you go visit the store and see it in actually with your rear eyeballs and in clear how it actually looks in real life?
But if you're a very high net worth individual, do you want to try and figure out who has 90s and who doesn't?
No. But then again, at that point, like I'm sure if you're that high end net worth individual, you have some monkey that peels your bananas for you, and they can make the calls. You know what I'm saying? You say I want 90's, whatever, whoever the assistant is, and that's the person that's got to go to figure this shit out and set up an appointment, obviously within his whoever's that wealthy person is schedule to go audition them, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, I still think it's risky. This whole new strategy.
what
With the going after the very high net worth individual people, because
I think what B&O should honestly do is to focus on the dealers, on their stores.
yeah,
That's
well,
that's in my opinion, especially with support. And like the guys here are lucky that I'm here, I guess, as a B&O, proper B&O sucker, and I have experience that it goes decades back, not just I just started 2-3 years ago or somewhere. But not everybody's that lucky, and not every shop can do that. And I think that, yes, I understand the Amazon aspect of it all,
mm-hmm.
but I disagree with that Amazon shit. I don't think that B&O should be, like, and if they're even considering to have a theater being sold online, I think they're completely out of touch with the reality, because that's just not going to work. They're going to get
Yeah,
more and more, damage returns than anything else. And once you scratch aluminum, it's over. You can't refinish it. You can't paint over it. You fucking got to replace it. And to replace a piece on this is an absolute pain in the penis, because you got to take it quite a bit apart to
yeah, it's
get that
just
out.
apparently there is a point where you're the actual very high net worth individual, where it's not like you make a lot of money, like you make an excessive amount of money. And apparently, I've heard from several people now, these people know exactly what they want quite often, and they don't take bullshit lightly.
Hmm.
So if they buy a set of 50s or something like that, and if they drop out too often, it's like, get rid of them. I don't ever want to speak to you again. I don't care if you give me a tenner back for it. Fuck
Hmm.
off and go away. I'm just going to, like, to spite you, I'm just going to go to Devialet or something like that.
Hmm.
And I think that's kind of risky. Like, it's going a lot better with software, but we can't be bugging out much anymore if we're going after these people.
Well, software, I definitely agree with. They are on top of it, at least with the current products, because obviously, like, the ASC platform is basically at this point self-perpetual. It just works, and there's no more of it anyways, because I think the BeoSound 2 is soon enough going to be reaching end of life, and I think that same. There's no secret that the A9 is coming, is in a fifth generation. So yeah, the ASC platform is slowly dying out. I think that the only ASC platform product that they're going to have online so far is the stage, unless they put a Mark II stage with a update to it. But at that point, like, I think that they should at least put one power link output if it's a Mark II, just so you either have a set of rear channels if you wanted some small, or a subwoofer with the stage.
I hope so, but at the moment they have nothing smaller than 18s.
Yeah, which is crazy, because 18s here, the cheapest you can buy is $15,000 almost.
It's €8,500 here.
Yeah, it's 14,750 in here, so it's
What do you
quite a
think
bit.
of B&O sponsoring Ferrari F1?
Well, I don't know. I think they need to get a bigger logo, because the first one they had, he was putting in the wall enough so they could see it on his helmet. But this one, I think they should get a big logo for the because I think they're going to be much more successful than they were with Williams' team.
The Williams team, from what I read here and there, was around probably €800,000 for the year for that logo. From what I've read online, Ferrari's minimum buy-in for even a small logo is 5 million a year.
Well, that is your price increase answers.
And
Shit.
thank you, Prestige.
See you, Prestige.
And to me, it's like, I understand it to a point. And if Ferrari manages to win this year, then it's brilliant. Like, exquisite choice, guys.
Hmm.
Because if Ferrari's going to win everything, we're constantly going to look from the second place that is going to be close, looking at the back of it, and you're going to see B&O all the time. But I am hesitant to think that Ferrari made strides that big this year. And I also
Oh yeah.
think it's a heck of a lot of money for a small company that is not so excessively in the black that it can just, because a lot of sponsor money to me is sort of like you must be able to afford to lose it, right?
Hmm.
Like it's nice if something good comes out of that, but you could also tank. I don't know. Maybe Ferrari did
Well, I
something.
think this is a better idea than that goofy crypto nonsense that they did with the NFTs.
Oh, for sure, for sure. that's not really in question.
That
But
died so fast. I don't even know if it's still around. Like, can
yeah,
you
it's
buy
still
it?
around. It's on the other Discord server.
Oh, right on.
Uh, if I ever am a dealer and you guys buy enough shit from me, I'll put my name on a Ferrari.
That's funny. But yeah, it's like I don't know. I'm not that I'm not a fan of Formula. I just don't have time to follow it or watch it. But I hope they do well because more of that car is in the focus of a camera lens, the more the exposure.
Yeah. I
Maybe they'll come out with some Ferrari inspired headphones, I'm sure, or a freaking burger A9
yeah, we had some fun
level.
on the Discord that while you were obviously working, and they're gonna make a red Ferrari, and it's gonna be like nicknamed the dog's penis or something like that.
Fuck.
I mean, they're gonna make Ferrari things, and I don't know, as a purely business, like not even looking at the sporting aspect of it, but as a business aspect, it's like I love that they're able to do this. It's just when you
Mm.
look at the overall picture and where the money's coming from, how much money they actually have, it's like, ooh,
Mm.
I'm not sure on this one. I don't mind it. I don't hate it. Ferrari is a much better choice than Williams ever was, but
Yeah.
eh, it's. I just really sincerely hope that this is not some sort of management passion project of like we're management, therefore we want to sit in skyboxes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know, take the corporate at Coca-Cola or whatever, right? Or Heineken or whatever. They sponsor this shit because, like, everybody knows Heineken. Like, they don't need the extra attention. But it's like free tickets every weekend if I want some.
Hmm. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping that it works out well for them.
If nothing else, I'm now sort of going like, please let this year be tighter than last year so we can see the B&O logo all the time. I mean, that would be nice. Like, as
Hmm.
in all seriousness, it would be good for everybody involved, even for the sporting aspect, but it would also be good for B&O. And yeah, well, we'll see what we come. We'll keep an eye on it. And like Brian said, all B&O owners should at least drive a Ferrari once. Oh yeah, sure, I agree with that. I mean, even if it's a test drive, and then you decide you need a BeoPlay in your car, and you buy an F-150 truck.
Yeah, I don't think I've never driven a Ferrari. I've driven Aston Martins before, but never driven a Ferrari. Never sat in a Rolls Royce really.
B&O should really seal the deal now to get like B&O sounds and audio systems in the Ferrari cars. I mean,
Do you think that they would actually sound good in those?
does it matter?
No, just make cool grills like on the Urus.
Yeah, exactly. it doesn't really matter because throughout history, in Ferraris and those sorts of cars, you would not really have the radio on anyway, but it was for the times you were sitting in traffic. Because you'd much rather listen to the engine behind you.
Yeah, but you know what, though, I kind of disagree with that, because if you're driving, like, you know, maybe it's different in Europe, but in North America, when you drive for, you know, you take your nice car for a spin and you, let's say you want to go to your cabin, well, that's an hour drive in, let's say, fifth or sixth gear, right? Like, you would need some stereo to just kind of cancel the monotonous noise of the engine. So
the people that I see driving Ferraris here go to windy roads because we have a lot of windy roads. So it's a lot of like you even hear it through the city streets here that are way too narrow for this sort of shit, but it still happens.
yeah, it's just everything's so far spread out that it's better to have, like, my next Audi, if I can get into an A6, I'm gonna buy it with those acoustic aligned windows or acoustic windows. I just want fucking quiet. I want to listen to my music. I don't care for the sound actor and whatever else, that goofy little speaker that brings you the noise from the engine into the. No thanks. I'll pass. El Paso.
Yeah. Yeah, you get yourself something with a V12 and that's all you want to hear. I agree, guy. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to call it for today. I'll be back on Tuesday as that day still works better. Thanks everybody for watching. Hope you have a good evening. Please like and subscribe if you haven't yet already. Go to Bang & Olufsen Preston for John's channel. We still have the deal with Prestige Creators going that ends 31st of March, and you get 10% off if you use promo code Wikipedia in small letters and all letters, so no 4 at the end. Anyway, have a good one, and see you in the next one. Bye everybody.
Have a good week, everyone. Bye bye.
You know, when this long night will fade away, and we go back to our old ways, two perfect strangers in the skies. When the sun is going to stretch its arms on the road, turn us again with his shrill call into perfect strangers in disguise. But until then,